Hey guys, welcome to 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. Week 8 is in the books, and our Buffalo Bills got themselves a big win. And the MVP of the game was Terrence's favorite, Gregory Rousseau. And we're going to talk about
Was
it
he? Was he?
because he loves them. So, welcome to the podcast, guys. As always, I'm Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill. And fellas, how are we feeling about Greg Rousseau? And by Greg Rousseau, I mean James Cook.
So,
Um,
let me just
before
give you some perspective here. If you got to point out when someone has a good game, they're not a good player. I'm sorry. Yes, yep. He showed up this week. Guess where he
so
probably show up next week?
before we give James Cook all the talk that he deserves, I want to give a little bit of props to the defense too. The fact that the defense looked like a completely different defensive unit than they did in those two previous losses that they had. And it sucks that Ed Oliver went down, but it was nice to see that the defense didn't seem to miss too much of a step after that happened. And obviously, James Cook is the huge story out of the game, and hopefully the Bills took some lessons from it.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the defense, it slipped out that it came up that McD's been calling plays. Came out, he had the playbook in his hand. They showed him during the game with it, and it had to happen. And he said, like I told you, unlike Paulie wanted to argue with me, he went back and said he went and did some self-reflecting, and they made a lot of changes on that team, on the defense primarily.
They
They
had
said
to. They had
they,
to.
they had Hancock in the game sometimes. Ingram was in the game sometimes. I was Maxwell Harrison didn't even have to call his name out. He made a great play on a run. Um, I mean, the defense like they were ready to go. Now the question is, can they maintain this? That's going to be the problem. And now that you got Easy Ed out now, he's probably done for the year. Um, McDee's going to have to get
Minimum.
on the phone about. He may have to get on the phone about wide receivers and defensive tackles because they got nothing in the back end. They got nothing that's going to help them through the rest of the season. So
Shout
he may
out,
have to make a move for one.
shout out too to Cole Bishop, I think it was, with that touchdown saving tackle that he made right before the Bills had that first forced fumble. Feel like game could have gone completely differently had he not caught that guy. And earlier in the season, I feel like that's the kind of play where the guy gets past them and scores.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I mean, as far as a team effort, they did their jobs. I
Yep.
mean, the passing game leaves a lot to be desired because even in this game, against another team that's not very good at coverage, he still couldn't find nobody to throw the ball to. So now you got to start asking your questions: is it the wide receivers or is it the design of the play calling?
Well, I
Because
think that's
nobody's
where,
getting open.
yeah, and I think that's where I wanted to start with this, right? Like, it's awesome that James Cook is amazing and, he's earning that contract looking like, fantastic. But the problem is Carolina's not a good team, right? And I look back and I'm even more pissed about that Atlanta loss now, especially seeing how bad Atlanta actually is. Like, they got blown out by Miami yesterday. I mean, I'm really pissed about that Atlanta loss. We should not have lost that game. But with that said, I want to talk about the wide receivers because, like, what are we doing? Like, I mean, the passing game is abysmal. And yeah, James Cook had an amazing day. And if Khalil Shakir doesn't like make three people miss and doesn't get that incredible touchdown that he got, like Allen's numbers would have been a joke on this
Mm.
game. So like what are we gonna do? This is like it's Chiefs week. Like, what are we gonna do on Sunday at 4:25? How are we gonna beat that team? Like, are we gonna attempt to just do the same thing? Is that the philosophy now? Like, just run and and hope to God our corners can stand up?
So
Well, I don't think Josh trusts the receivers too. So there's times that he's just tentative with throwing the ball. I don't think he trusts what he sees out there with the wide receivers because I just don't think because he doesn't have a go-to. And having a go-to also helps out your offense because not just do you have somebody to go to, but if he is double covered, you're drawing coverage to one side of the field. You can work on the other side. And Bean's going to have to figure something out. There's a thing came out today that they are in talks with New Orleans for Shaheed. So who I expected, I believe I said that I think that's probably who they're going to go after. But he got hurt in that game Sunday. I think he got a
Yeah,
concussion or something like
yeah.
that. Didn't he get?
I think I saw that, but I also saw that reports of them being linked to Brian Thomas Jr. too.
Yeah, but Jags came out there. their GM came out today and said they're not trading him.
Well, I mean, who cares with that? You never know.
Yeah, but if he was, but there's no reason to make an announcement about it, right?
I mean, I guess they say things all the time, but that I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess
I find out he's a young player right that's getting traded anyway. He's only in his second year.
Yeah.
Well, while we're talking offense, can we also talk about there were a couple points where I know I questioned it, but Allen's decision making on a couple things. And the one big thing I want to bring up is that one third down play where he ran back like 20 yards and took a sack for no reason. Like, why is he's a smart enough player who's been in the league long enough that he should know to throw the ball away when he's being chased by 4 defensive linemen. Like, what the hell was going on there? That's not the Allen that we know.
Well, don't forget, Allen is also used to people understanding the scramble drill. So when he gets out of the pocket, he expects receivers to know he's getting out of pocket and to make themselves available to him. And that's not happening right now. Think about it. How many times you see Josh roll out to the right and catch somebody on the sideline? He's not able to do it anymore.
My problem is he didn't throw the damn ball away. The dude ate a sack there that he should not have.
No, he was trying to make a play. And this is Josh. We know he tries to make plays. And it's got to be frustrating to him that he doesn't trust what he sees. I don't think he trusts his wide receivers. And the wide receivers don't get over it as much as they need him to. So, I mean, think about it. The only people he can throw ball to is Shakir
and Kincaid.
Well, I don't know why we don't throw the running backs no more. I don't know what happened to that in the game.
They don't do that anymore. That's real weird.
Coleman had a couple decent catches yesterday. So, I mean, maybe that's a step in the right direction. I know neither of you guys really like Coleman, but I think the only one that he really missed was that one early in the game. Then as the game progressed, it felt like he was catching them.
I want you to think back at the catches that he's had. Every time he's caught the ball, what have you seen around him? Whenever the ball's thrown at him, he's got somebody. He's never open. He's got to be open, and Josh is trying to force the ball to him, and the guy's not good enough to position him. He doesn't position himself well enough to be available for a pass. I mean, even with yesterday, it was weird they had him do a punt return. You saw that, right? I'm like, why they got him back there?
All game they were doing weird stuff with the special teams. Did you notice that? They had different people like every time returning punts and kicks.
Well, that's what told me that I think that they are actually going after Shaheed because he does both receiving and kick returning. And that tells me they're trying to see if anybody else can do this before they pull the trigger on this.
Yeah.
Shaheed is return kicks. We're going to we won't pull the trigger.
Shaheed is the type of dual threat player that Bean likes.
He had a bad game yesterday, though.
Yeah. I think, though, honestly, as far as the offense went yesterday, I think the biggest takeaway from this is hopefully the Bills realized just hand the goddamn ball to James Cook. Like, I don't care what team you're playing, because Carolina has an all right run defense. Like, I think they have a better run defense than they're normally given credit for. But Cook he got 220 yards on 19 carries? That's crazy yardage. Like, I feel like had he stayed in the game for that fourth quarter, he would have broken Peterson's rushing record.
Oh, I agree with that. Because if the game was closer, at any time, if that game got any closer than it did, maybe they got a couple of touchdowns, right? He probably would have 300 yards in this game.
Yeah.
But he didn't play in the fourth quarter. He had one carry, he broke 10 yards, and he took him out. And that was it.
Yeah. So, I guess then,
And the Panthers do have one of the top-ranked run defenses. Let's not forget. I understand that it's the Panthers, but their defense has showed up for them this year. And the Bills, they had no answer for the run game.
So do you feel better or worse going into the Kansas City game this week? Either one.
I feel better.
I feel about the same. I mean, this passing offense still leaves a lot to be desired. And we know how Spags gets when he plays against Josh. He gives Josh fits.
I feel better defensively.
Especially when he doesn't have any weapons. So that's what I'm wondering. I don't know how I'm nervous about the offense. I'm not worried about the defense. We know what we're going to get with the defense. Maybe they show up, maybe they don't. We're going to need the offense to score points, though. And I'm worried about the passing game. They're not going to be able to run the ball like they did against the Panthers this week against KC. I just don't see that happening. I think he'll have some success running the ball, but they're just not going to have the run success they had this past week. You're going to need the passing game this week. And Brady can celebrate all he wants, but he had nothing to do with that game yesterday.
Honestly, I would like to see them utilize the passing to the running backs in the Chiefs game. I think that's an area they might be able to succeed in. You put Ty out there and just like try passing to the running backs and your tight ends, and I think that might work against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, but the Brady thing is annoying because he's acting like he did this great plan and it had nothing to do with you, man. I mean, the run game isn't even by you; it's by what's his name, the offensive line coach. What's his name? Starts with a K.
Not sure off the top of my head.
Cromer.
Yep. It started with him. I mean, he's the run game coordinator and the designer of the runs. That's him. That had nothing to do with the passing game. Passing game didn't do nothing for them yesterday. You got the one out of Shakir, but that's about it. We were already up anyway. It didn't really matter.
Right.
Honestly, those runs that they were running, the rushes, didn't really look like they were any crazy packages or anything.
Oh, they had a lot of, they had some pulling tackles and stuff like that. They would put the tight end into like a sort of a motion just to get him in position to catch the guy that's getting freed up on the end. It was zone running. I mean, at its best, at its finest. It doesn't get any better than that. You have somebody like James Cook who has the vision to be able to find every little crease. Like, did you see some of those creases he was getting through? I'm like, I don't know how he figured out to get through that.
Yeah.
And he slices right up the field, no hesitation. And the run game is what's carrying us right now. They're going to have to stick with this run game till they figure out this wide receiver situation. Because I don't see – they do need wide receivers' help, and I do think they need to get it. I just don't know how long it will take an impact for whoever they bring in to help out the offense because they got to learn the offense. And you see Josh is already working with guys who not too familiar with it still, and they're still not figuring it out.
The problem, though, with the run game is it feels like this Bills team gives up on the run way too easily. Like
the last few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, they, like I was saying, if anything, I hope this week shows them that that's a mistake to give up on it like that. I mean, you see what happens when you stay committed to it. So hopefully they are smart enough. And I feel like that's giving them a little bit of credit considering the problem I have with some of the coaching staff. But you can't control the clock if you're not running the ball.
True, but I think this week might be a little bit of an anomaly because they're going to have to get points this week, right?
You're right.
And like if you go down 14-0 or
you're
or 14-3, you're gonna have to start. You have to throw the ball, right? You're gonna because and then it's a vicious cycle because you might go 3-and-out and then all of a sudden they're up 21-6 or something like that, and you can't just go back to running the ball. Like you have to get points, and then they play defense against that, and then you lose. That's what happens. And my problem is, you have the reigning league MVP. Get him some help.
Yep.
Get this dude some help. Obviously, he's great. He won the MVP last year. We watched that game against Detroit and that game against the 49ers in the snowstorm and that game against the Rams where he had, what did he have between those 3 games? 18 touchdowns?
Yeah.
I mean, serious, in 3 games, he had 17 or 18 touchdowns. What are we doing? Get this guy some help.
I mean, this is on the OC right now, though, too. I mean, he's not. Think about it. I mean, how many often do you even see him throwing to wide receivers this year?
Not that often, but how
many? A couple of times in a game, right? A couple of times in the game, here and there. Keanu make his little spot catch here and there. Shakir, for some reason, he's in the offense and he's not in the offense. Apparently, they only think he can run screens. That's driving me nuts. Yep. I mean, you sit him out on a pattern. What happened? But how many screens did we watch? I mean, dude, why do we keep calling screens all the time? And it's like, that tells me that OC doesn't know what else to do.
I absolutely despise, and I hate it because it feels like the Bills call screenplays that don't have the right blocking in them so often. And it's so frustrating. They're lucky that Shakir a lot of the times can make something out of those because he's so elusive. Otherwise, they'd be every single one of those would be for a loss.
No, I mean, this is we're not. I'm fine. We needed to win. We needed that. We
Yeah.
needed that, confidence. But this is up to the Bills now to get confidence back into Josh Allen. 'Cause I don't think he has confidence right now. I don't think he trusts anything that's happening in that passing game. And I thought that over the break that maybe they would have figured something out, but apparently Brady needed to go into the dark room with McD that day because I don't know what's going on with the passing game because they haven't figured out much of anything. It didn't look any different this week than it did any other week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking ahead, then, do we still think they got a chance on Sunday or what?
Oh, absolutely, they got a chance if they can just figure out the passing game.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to?
I'm hoping that they're sandbagging us, that they're purposely not calling certain stuff because of the teams they are coming up. And you're going for some bottom feeders where they shouldn't have lost. Quite frankly, they shouldn't have lost to the Patriots or the Falcons, but they did. I don't think they expected to lose to them, but I also think they kind of overplayed their hand with the roster they put together.
My biggest confidence booster, honestly, isn't even the offense. It's the how much better the defense looked with the extra guys back in it and everything. I think that gives me a little bit more hope going forward. Knock on wood that they don't see many more injuries, if any. I mean, that Oliver injury is a huge loss, but seeing what that defense did really makes me feel a lot better. I like on that Epinesa interception. I think the person who deserves a lot of credit for that is Shaq Thompson and whatever he saw on the line there to change the play and get Epinesa to jump that straight up.
Or I mean, yeah, absolutely. Or the best player on the field, Gregory Rousseau.
Right. Like even Rousseau, as much as Terrence liked to hate him in this game, he was all over. And I know that's probably more of an anomaly than anything else, but I don't know, it gives me hope for them that maybe they'll gel now that everybody who's supposed to be there is there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the most part, let's be honest. The defense wasn't really tested by that team yesterday. I mean, they stopped the run, which they needed to do, which give Panthers all the credit in the world they're a pretty good running team. My thing is that I'm worried about this team putting up points. Now they lucked. I mean, again, it was the Panthers. I mean, you're not going against Andy Dalton next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not going against a guy who looks like he has never played a snap of a quarterback ever in his career. You're not doing that this week. You're going to be going against Mahomes.
Look at how bad they looked against bad teams. So you know what? I will take them finally looking good against a bad team as a positive step in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm going to give them credit for winning, but I'm not going to give them credit for beating a bad team.
No, I'm just saying step in the right direction.
This is the first team they've beaten that had a winning record.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it, right? But I don't know, man. I go back to that effing Atlanta loss, though, man. Like Carolina beat Atlanta 30-0. The Dolphins beat Atlanta 34-10, and we just lost to them. Like we got embarrassed by them. I think when we look back at the end of this season, if we don't get the 1 seed, we're gonna be pissed about that Atlanta loss. Like, I really think that's gonna come back and it's gonna piss off a lot of Bills fans. I really do. I'm like this game yesterday. That was the first thing I thought about after it was over. I was like, how the hell did we lose to Atlanta?
You said
how
that.
How did we lose to Atlanta? I mean, yeah, I know I had a parlay going with thinking, oh yeah, Bijan's easily gonna get 70 or 80 rushing yards against a lowly Miami team, and he got 24. But it's like, what are we doing? Like, and if they were 6-1 right now, flying high.
It's crazy. I mean, you're right. I mean, 25 rushing yards is all he had in that game against the Miami Dolphins, with one of the worst defenses in the league. And we looked like we had no idea what was going on in the field. And granted, and like you said, Sean, I give you the credit. I mean, they had a lot of backups out there for the start of this season. And, I mean, you got some reinforcements. This week I expect Maxwell to probably be out there a lot more than he was this week. I don't think we're going to do as much as a round when it comes to play time on the field. I think you're going to probably see him out there a lot more this week because I can probably see Bernard this week coming back in the lineup because I mean his coverage ability is what's going to help him. But I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I don't want to see him on the field, but they're going to have to because they gave him that contract. I thought that defense looked better with Shaq running it than it does with Bernard running it. So I mean, you
Jack is
could
faster.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's not faster than Bernard. He just reacts. He's able to diagnose a play faster than he does, and that's what
That's what I mean.
Bernard's missing. He doesn't have any. He has not been able to diagnose run plays and coverage. They're playing, drop zones. I mean, you just sit in your zone, wait for somebody to come in your zone, and then you cover them. That's not working. It's just not. They got rid of it yesterday. You've seen a little more press coverage. You've seen them a little more get after the quarterback. They're going to have to do that against KC.
Yep.
But you can't go through a first quarter like you did this week, where it was 6-3.
That's not gonna happen. It's gonna be if you do that, it's gonna be 14-3. So,
right.
You know what I
so
mean?
So you got to fix this. You got to fix this passing game like now. They can't wait any longer.
No, you're absolutely right. So, any final thoughts before we go around the league?
No, I just hope we'll see if some action happens this week with the trade deadline because I see McCreary got traded today.
Where did he get traded?
Cornerback to where did you trade him to? The Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are loading up. The Rams are loading up. I mean, I don't know, dude. I think the Rams are the second best team in the NFC. So,
well, the Rams do it every year.
Yeah.
They wait. They'll get players if they want them. They'll go after them if they need them. I mean, think about it. They went after what's his face in the off season. They needed a wide receiver, brought him in. They're going after a cornerback right now. They need a cornerback right now. I mean, they're doing what they got to do. I don't know what the Bills are waiting on. I mean, I dig that they have some money issues, but the longer they wait, the longer it's going to take to get somebody. If you do make a move, the longer it's going to take to get somebody installed into this offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's take a quick walk around the league here. So we had a couple of games that I guess don't particularly matter all that much. The Texans did beat the 49ers, which was kind of a weird game. I was kind of surprised that the Texans actually looked like a decent team.
Dude,
very bizarre.
What did I tell you, Mike? West Coast teams having come from the West Coast across halfway point of the United States, they always play bad.
Yeah.
So if you see that, bet the opposite. Do not take the West Coast team.
Yeah,
Houston's not that crazy of a travel though for San Francisco. You know what I mean? It's not like they came all the way to the East Coast.
It's still about a 4-hour flight though.
Yeah, I mean you still got to. Yeah, that's still a bit of a travel from the top of California to Texas. That's some travel.
Honestly, I think that just shows that San Francisco isn't as good as they were looking like earlier in the season.
Well, they're running with a skeleton crew over there right now too. So
they always are.
Every year they're running the injury issues. But I think again for the West Coast teams to go out of their time zone to the halfway point of the United States or all the way to the Eastern Seaboard, they never perform really well. They rarely ever do, and it's tough for them to do that because I think, like I said, I think the time change is an issue, the whole 9 yards. I would always bet against a West Coast team traveling across to the East Coast.
I know Reese, you wanted to quickly touch on the Ravens Bears game because of the Ravens won with Tyler Huntley, but that's not the story there. The story is Lamar still not playing, and I know you'd mentioned something about there being a lawsuit or like an investigation or something. So what's that?
Or fans or somebody was bringing up the fact that they want to look into have an investigation done. It's the reason why he's not playing. It's very, very bizarre. It's very bizarre what's going on there, and it's almost like. And the thing is, to be honest with you, I think if they lost that game, Lamar probably wouldn't have come back this year.
So
I don't know why I'm thinking that. I'm just me. I'm thinking like the way things have been going over there right now, and I don't know about this injury that mysteriously came out of nowhere. I just don't. I think if they lost that game, Lamar, you probably would have heard an announcement. Lamar's done for the season.
Yeah.
So allegedly, the investigation, from what I understand, is because Lamar was listed as good to go and a full participant in practice on Friday, and then all of a sudden Sunday, right before the game, they were like, "He can't go," which 100% is suspicious. And I still am 100% convinced that he gave up on that team and wants out. Like, I I don't think there is any other explanation because, like you said, this injury that came out of nowhere and when all of a sudden they were looking bad, and it's like at the end of the day, that's not. I just don't think I have a real big issue if anybody ever says the word MVP around Lamar's name again after you give up on your team like that.
Yeah, I'm completely with you there. I'm also of the mind that he gave up on that team. I really am. Um, there's a bunch to say about this next one. The Eagles were all over the Giants, 38-20, and a couple things here. That horrible injury to Scatabo. Oh my God, that dude, that poor guy. Like I don't even like gross anybody out, but that was one of the nastiest injuries I've seen. It's all over Twitter if you want to go and
Yep.
look it up, to our audience. But that poor guy. But one of the things I want to get into, because we talk about this a lot with the Chiefs, how they get away with calls and stuff like that.
It
The
was bad.
Philadelphia Eagles get away with a lot of crap. And like in this one in particular, there was a fourth down where they went for a tush push and the ball got fumbled. Like the Giants player like ripped it
Took it
out.
from him. Yeah.
And
Yep.
then they just like proceeded to be like, yeah, no, they already blew the play dead. And
Yep.
like they blew it and they didn't though, because the whistle was blown after like 4 or 5 seconds and the ball got ripped out in like 2 seconds. And the
Yeah.
forward progress was like still going on, but they
Or
reversed the whole thing. So
Yep.
I don't love that. And like, especially with all the crap going on with, basketball being fixed and stuff like that and, the gambling shit. Like, I don't, it's a bad look for the NFL. And I have a feeling with the Chiefs in prime time tonight, although, Washington is again playing without Jaden Daniels. I just am kind of like, you're going to see a lot of that shit tonight too, like bad calls and stuff like that. And the NFL is just not learning its lesson with that crap.
how about the 60-yard touchdown they took away from Jackson Dart for offensive pass interference that didn't exist, or the to the Scatabo injury that you just mentioned, the hip drop tackle that was done there, that is probably what led to him being injured, which the league wanted to take the league banned for a reason. Do they call it? No. I mean, hell, the tush push alone, the reason why they wanted the tush push banned is because I think it's the guards, get off the line early on this. And that alone can lead to injuries. So, like, you want to talk favoritism for the Chiefs? It's out there for other teams as well.
Well,
And
you need to
I
start calling
know,
more false starts on that tush push. Like
yeah,
you got to
but
start
where they're
calling
not
more false
calling it
starts
again.
on that.
Bills got called for it this week.
Yeah.
Bills got called for a legal formation on it, is the one they got called for, which just makes no sense to me. But it's not just, and at some point I do want to have a talk with you, both of you, about the betting thing. But you notice it's always certain teams that seem to get the favors for them.
Oh yeah. Philly again, they're the champs, so they are going to get a lot of stake. But you're right, that was a terrible call, Mike. I mean, his progress was still going forward at the time that ball was snatched out of his hands, and it was like it wasn't even covered up. Like we could all see
Oh, yep.
that the ball was taken out of his hands as soon as he put it up in the air, which is a perfectly legal play for the defense to take it from him. And they
Yeah.
just, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Probably
And
the clearest bubble we'll ever see.
And I got to tell you, like, I like Jackson Dart, actually. I think he looks decent. It's a shame the Giants are terrible. And maybe, he probably won't be there very long. But which takes me to players leaving the Giants and being great. The Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they're just killing teams every week. They're just killing teams. They're 14-point favorite. Doesn't matter. We'll beat you by 30. Every week, the Indianapolis Colts look incredible. They look
Be a
like the
contender.
most complete team in the league right now.
Be a
I mean,
contender.
yeah,
Yep.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I got to
But
tell you, I can't wait to see them play the Chiefs in a couple of weeks here. I think that's going to be wild because I think that'll be like the first time they play like a good team. You know, I know they got a
can
few other mixed in there, but man, that Colts Chiefs game was going to be something to see.
we say that Jonathan Taylor is probably the best running back in the league right now?
No,
The guy who do you think is better than him?
James Cook.
Consistently? No.
James
Jonathan
Cook
Taylor
better running back.
consistently has been
I put
the
my money
best.
on James.
I'm saying as of just right now, up to this point, Taylor has been the best running back in the league. Cook may overtake him if they stay committed to him, but from what we've been seeing, he's a huge part of their success. And it's the fact that they don't have to rely on Daniel Jones and his potential to Daniel Jones the game.
He's looked good
Well,
though,
I mean,
Daniel Jones. He's been throwing touchdowns. He had 3 or 4 yesterday. So I
look at the
But I
mean,
don't know
rankings.
that I trust
Look
him.
at the rankings of the defenses they played against.
that's another thing too. Like I think once the Colts play a few decent teams, it's going to look very different because they've still got they got to play the
Yeah.
Chargers, got to play the Broncos, they got to play. We'll talk about the Broncos in a second because they look all right. Got to play the Chiefs. Like they've got some tough matchups, so where they will probably drop some games. So
Yeah, it's just their
um,
running game. All you do is once they go against a team that can slow down that running game or stop it, they're going to
Yep.
lose. Daniel Jones is not going to win a game for them.
Or Jonathan Taylor gets his yearly injury.
yeah. Then the other team that again I think is a victim of circumstance and is beating up on a lot of bad teams, but they're the darlings right now is the New England Patriots. They're also just killing bad teams as well too, which good for them. Like good for them on killing bad teams, and the Bills blew it against them, and it's their own it's their own fault that the Patriots are where they are. But the Patriots are going to have a couple of games coming up as well where they're going to have to play some teams as well that it's not just gonna it's not going to be easy. They're going to have I think they play the Broncos in a few weeks, and they have a couple of other games against some tougher teams. So like, I still think the Patriots are gonna Patriots eventually and drop a few games that they're probably not supposed to. But I mean, right now they're beating up bad teams. So
Yeah, I mean, again the Patriots, they beat us. We'll take it. Fine, we'll take it on the chin. But again, they have their schedule is so easy this year
Yep.
that you got to hope that they're going to trip up. Like I thought the Browns were going to give them more. They gave them a fight till maybe halftime, and then after that, it just went all hell broke loose. I don't know what. And you can see Myles Garrett. You seen him on the sidelines? He was losing his mind.
he
He was
pissed.
losing his mind.
That was a
And
mistake.
you got the number one defense and probably the worst offense. How does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
can
mean
stop
that
it trying
defense.
to do but if you can't score, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean that
Who
defense
is,
can
um,
only do so much.
Who is Cleveland's running back?
Quint
Ford, is Jerome
Judson.
Ford and what is Johnston? Is that how you pronounce it?
Judston or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Quentin Judston or something like that, or whatever.
I think
Yeah,
Not
Jerome
somebody.
Ford is still there too. But
Is
it's
he
not.
not
But
somebody who's
they
good?
don't have anything. They got nothing on that offense. There
no,
is nothing on that offense.
their
And
best pass catcher is Njoku, I think.
well, that's why I don't understand why they signed Myles Garrett to that contract. You are better off trading him. You need to rebuild that franchise, and they're just refusing to do it. And this is, this is why Cleveland's the way they are. I mean, you're going all the way back to what's his face, the quarterback.
Deshaun.
Yeah, what they did to Baker, and then they gave it to Deshaun, and he looked like he never played quarterback before as soon as he got in the lineup. And it's just been nothing but downhill for them from there. They're cursed themselves.
Yeah, they're
Well,
a cursed team.
and they're in cap hell with that Deshaun contract as well. They're going to be a
Yeah.
year late, so they got a lot of problems. And I don't know. I still don't know what they sold Myles Garrett to re-sign there. I mean, yeah, they gave him a lot of money, but like, I
Money.
don't know what they sold him to be
Yep.
like, oh, yeah, we're going to be a good team because yikes.
Hey, you
It's
see
the
that
money. The money talk.
when you lose, it makes it
Well,
takes away
and you
from
know
the
what?
win
And
a little
can
bit.
we? And another thing too is, can you guys just already go to Shedeur Sanders and let him suck so we can stop listening? Because I really I want the media to like watch him suck and finally like just get off of the train, this train that like he's gonna make it in the NFL because he's not. He's terrible.
The
And
problem is that Kevin Stefanski wants nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that he had any input on them drafting him, and whoever in the GM room thought that taking him was a good idea did nothing except cause another problem, both PR and on the field for them by drafting him. You could tell. I mean, Stefanski. Who did they elevate to be the backup? Bailey Zappi. I mean,
yeah,
when you are having random people elevated to be the backup over you, it tells me the coach wants jack shit to do with you. Sorry. Like
yeah.
they honestly, the Browns should trade Shador to a team that desperately needs a backup or something because Stefanski's going to do everything he can to not play him.
Well, I was gonna say, I bet he's kicking himself now too for what bitching about not wanting to go to Baltimore too, because he would have gotten starts if he went to Baltimore because he's better.
Yep.
I mean, probably better than Tyler Huntley. He would have been able to play if he'd gone to Baltimore. So it's a shame, and it's his own fault. So, but I don't
And I
want to
don't want
spend.
to say, listen, I don't want to say Shadur is going to suck. We don't know. Okay, honestly,
Well,
we don't know.
I think
But the
so.
problem that you got with him is the hype that came with him, and then all I don't know what I would call them, the cultists, Shadur cultists, who feel like he's going to be the next coming of Tom Brady. They're not making this any better for him. His father's not making it any better for him. And I agree with you, Sean. I mean, things are kind of saying that they don't really want him to start. And think about it. I wouldn't want him to start only because of the circus it brings.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if he plays early and you pull him out, you're going to be like, well, you didn't give him a chance. You didn't get an opportunity. No. And you're going to be stuck with him. You don't want to turn into a Tua situation. And that's what they're trying to hide from. It's another Tua situation. And they already got one quarterback situation. You can't have another.
Right. Speaking of Tua, we mentioned, obviously, the Dolphins, 34-10 winners over the Falcons. Just, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
Penix went down. Like, I think that's probably a huge part of it was Penix getting hurt. But the Dolphins are going to occasionally win one here and there. Like, we know they're not going to not win another game for the rest of the season.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact of you had one of the worst defensive league shut down their running game and turned them into nothing, and which we couldn't do. And again, like I told you, a lot of it was all the backups we had out there.
I mean, the Bills' defense did shut them down in the second half. It was just the first half, and the fact that they couldn't score.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of teams finally getting wins, the Jets in the highest scoring game of the weekend, 39-38 winners over the Cincinnati Bengals, who they were up by like 2.5 scores at one point, and they blew that game. I mean, I kept watching the ticker on that one, and I was like, oh, Cincinnati's killing the Jets. The Jets are going to be about to be 0-8, but nope, they come back and get their first win, and Breece Hall had himself a day. I think 3 tutties on the day, and woof.
The only problem that causes in New York, though, is it gives Justin Fields an argument to still stay as the starter.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's one game. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're going to use that game as a way to gauge Fields. I mean, like, then again, you know what? You're right. It could be the Jets. It's the Jets. So who knows? They may think that they got their Tom Brady, and they may want to go ahead and just offer him an extension.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised that he even started, considering that Woody Johnson came out and badmouthed his own quarterback. Like, when you have your owner badmouthing your QB, like, you want to talk about a dumpster fire franchise.
Yeah. Then you had the Bucs beat the Saints 23-3 with no passing touchdowns for Baker, a defensive score, and a couple of rushing touchdowns, but a game that really nobody watched because it wasn't on outside of any other market. So
I don't want to talk.
I watched that on the red zone, and it was just a bizarre game.
Baker got 5 fantasy points.
Yeah, I was going to say Baker had like 110 passing yards throughout the entire game, and that was it. It was a real bad game.
I don't know. Did any of you guys even catch any of that game? It was just so bizarre. It just is like it was like watching a game and they're just running through mud. It was just nothing happening, nothing exciting. I mean, then again, the Bucs don't have any wide receivers right now, so I mean, all they have is Ibuka, and I'm watching the Saints and I'm watching Shaheed fumbling. I'm like, I sat there watching him like, damn, do we really want this guy? He fumbled. I think he fumbled twice in that game. Didn't he? Didn't he fumble twice in that game? And then he got a concussion. I'm like, oh. Yeah. I'm going to put it as a one-off for him just because maybe he was trying too hard to make a play because they were trying to win. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. But I'll tell you, again, that was just a bizarre game.
Then you had the Broncos blow out the Cowboys 44-24. I mean, Cowboys got a late garbage time touchdown from their backup quarterback, but I mean, the Broncos look real good too. And I got to tell you, they're 6-2. I don't think they're slowing down. I think Kansas City's getting in as a wild card. I really do. I think the Broncos are winning that division this year. They've
It's
got a
possible.
two game lead on the Chiefs, and I think they'll split with them. I really do. They might lose in Kansas City, but they will win their home game against the Chiefs. I'm calling it now. So
The
I think the Broncos actually could be a favorite to get the 1 seed the way they're playing. They look really good. Their defense is probably the second best defense in the league.
so
Same defense
Denver,
we
yeah.
shut and carve up like they were nothing.
And
So
Dallas
Denver,
has a great offense. I mean, Dallas's defense is shit. That's why they scored so many points.
Mm.
But I mean, Dallas has a great offense. They have one of the best offenses in the league, and Denver shut them down.
my problem with Denver is their offense isn't consistent. Like look at the games they've had this season where they've struggled against some not great teams, and it's because there's a lot of points where it feels like they're just not putting up any points. And I mean, if Denver can figure out a way to be consistent on offense, that team is a frightening team. Their
Mhm.
their defense is a top five defense consistently, and if they just could get it all into a total package, I think that they are pretty damn close to being a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I agree. And then the nightcap saw Shawn Michaels retire Ric Flair. I mean Jordan Love retire Aaron Rodgers. This is the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers handily defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Those
We
were
all know
the
Pittsburgh
ugliest.
isn't. We all know Pittsburgh isn't a great team. We all know
No, but
that.
they're probably going to win that division, though.
But they always slide in. They win these games they shouldn't win and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean when they go up against a contending team, they don't beat them. They feed on bottom feeders. That's what Pittsburgh does. That's why they make it into the playoffs.
I gotta tell
Pittsburgh
you
is a
though, I've been thinking about this a little bit, and if New England does win the division, just because they play so many bad teams, you've got you probably have Indy as the one, Denver as the two, New England as the three, and then Pittsburgh by default as the four. The Bills would probably be the five then, right? It's a great wild card matchup going into Pittsburgh. Like, I
yeah.
mean, of all of the teams you'd want to play, right? You want Pittsburgh, you want to play Pittsburgh in the first weekend of the playoffs there. And then you let New England you let New England or Indy or Denver have to deal with Kansas City. And if you go in as if both Buffalo and Kansas City get in as wild cards, we might not even see Kansas City in the playoffs.
It's
You know,
possible. But I mean, they're on a tear
Pittsburgh,
right now. We'll see how it goes.
yeah.
I mean, they got to play the Chargers again. Chargers already beat them once. Like you
yeah.
said, they got the Denver Raiders always give them a go. So it depends on if they show up for whatever game they want to show up against with KC. But you're right. I mean, it's possible. I don't think it's possible. I think KC will be in the playoffs, but boy can dream.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of scenarios out there where the KC doesn't get in,
No,
and
no, I'm with you.
I
I
I
just
love
can't
it.
count them out.
I'm ready for it. I am ready for it.
It's
Yeah,
crazy to
everybody's
me
ready for it.
how Pittsburgh, real quick, I want to make a point on them, is that team that seems to back into the playoffs every year and still manages to get a decent like seating. Like this year. I mean, who would have thought that Baltimore would have been the way they are? And Pittsburgh's basically just going to back into it. And can I say those were probably the most god awful ugly jerseys I've seen in a while with those Pittsburgh jerseys last night. Those things were hideous. And the all white Packers jerseys weren't a whole lot better either.
Yeah. So So that is our show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us as we broke down week 8 of the NFL and talked about our Billies, and we are looking forward to the Chiefs, and we'll get you our pregame highlights coming up later on this weekend, as well as some other content for our wrestling followers as well. We got another show coming up this Saturday where I gotta take these guys to school on picks, and we'll take it from there. So as always, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great week and take care.